Unless you live under a rock, under another rock, you probably heard Luka Doncic got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. Never really heard of that team before, but no. The Lakers get Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris, whereas the Mavs get Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. The Jazz also got Jalen Hood-Schifino, who's like kind of just a worse Talen Horton-Tucker, if I'm not mistaken.
That is true.
But I was trying to. It took me 2 days to process this. It wasn't until this morning that I fully understood why this happened, and that's what I first tried to figure out. So the first thing I saw was Mavs GM as Josh gets out some food.
I'm just gonna sit here and let you two talk because this is not my
You just threw
point.
a grape across the room.
I'll pick it up later.
You nasty, nasty man. Mavs GM Nico Harrison's explanation for it, and I quote, "I believe that defense wins championships." Which is not inherently a wrong quote.
Correct.
That is a correct statement. You have to have a good defense to win a championship. Fair. I believe that getting an all-defensive center and an all-NBA player with a defensive mindset gives us a better chance. No, that's fair. If you're adding, and that's what AD is, all-defensive player, all-NBA player. No doubt there. Here's the part that gets me. We're built to win now and in the future. And in the future. Is Max Christie a future All-NBA player?
No, not by my estimation, no.
Okay, I didn't know if there's maybe something I missed, so I was going to wait until...
He's a solid 6 points per game scorer, so
Okay.
if you consider that all NBA, then yeah.
Who knows? Is he a great defender?
He is a pretty good defender.
Okay,
I
he's a
won't
pretty
lie
solid
about that.
defender.
I'm gonna say he's a Michigan State guy, right? So
Yeah.
they usually
that's
play
fair.
defense there.
Okay. But what I'm curious is, the Mavs defense isn't bad. Like, they were 18th rated last year, but then when they got to the playoffs, they turned it on. And they improved this year defensively to 13th. And they're before the injuries, they were top 10 in points allowed per possession.
Their two centers are top 10 in blocks, by the way. Something that I feel like should have been measured before they made this trade, but what a
Yeah.
great trade.
I mean, AD did say he needed another big. Maybe he just meant he needed another big on a team that already had bigs. Like
Yeah.
maybe he wasn't talking about the Lakers, guys.
He said I didn't want to play center, and they said, we got something for you.
Yeah, well, exactly. In the quote, Nico Harrison says an all-defensive center. I think that's the funniest part. But the last thing before I let you guys talk about this, it's implied that Luka is making the Mavs a worse defensive team. And I don't think he helps, obviously.
Right.
But the Dallas Mavericks actually allow fewer points when Luka is on the floor.
That's a stat.
That's a stat. That's an interesting stat. So I'm not buying your, I'm going to say it, bullshit, Nico. Bullshit. And I think the real answer came out. ESPN's Tim McMahon reported that the Mavs had major concerns with Luka's habits, particularly in the context of negotiating a $345 million Supermax contract. I still don't think it's right, but what do you guys think?
I was just going to say I'm sick of the fat shaming. Us fat people have feelings too. And if Luka wants to put a little winter weight on, it's fine. It's February. It will be slimmed off by the comes NBA playoff time. And guess what? He'll probably be going to the finals again, which, by the way, they were in just last year with Luka Doncic. What are we doing here? Back to my...
Yeah, I
to your
don't know if Nico Harrison knows, but one of the most out of shape people in the league is the best player in the league. So that really doesn't help the argument. And as Josh and everybody knows, they made the finals last year. So I think they were doing okay with that out of shape guy. But I love it for the Lakers.
Yeah. Tell what's the perspective from a Lakers fan?
LeBron no longer has to be guarded by the best defender on the court, which is going to open him up to be able to score and pass just that much better. Has that proven scoring mate. Luka Doncic is just second in the regular season in points per game.
First last year.
Third in the regular season all time in points per game, I should say, average wise, and second in the playoffs, average wise in points per game. So a decent scorer.
Some would say.
Mavs may have got better, but AD is obviously less of a scoring threat, and I don't think he is as much of a scoring threat without the physicality of LeBron to run those pick and rolls with, and he doesn't have a great passer to really get him the ball. Kyrie is an okay passer. He averages 7 assists a game, but he is not the prolific and generational talent at passer like LeBron or Luka is. So The Lakers won this trade by a lot.
It's a robbery.
I
Is
would-
there something above a robbery?
I would be lying if I didn't say when I saw this, I clutched my chest and like reached out to the heavens. Like I was like, "There's no way this just happened."
I was gonna say I was up late Saturday night watching everything. Right, or when was it?
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Oh
My-
yeah,
my
I
days
will
are
never
off.
forget
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was a Saturday night, and when I saw it come across the Discord that I'm in, I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, this is a lie. And then I reached out to you two, and I was like, did y'all just see this trade?
Yeah.
And he, oh my God, I think was his response. Like, there's no way. Everybody thought he got hacked. Like, Shams had to get hacked, right? Like, no, this is real. So I have to ask you real fast, though. Obviously, now there's a big missing piece for the Lakers, and a big.
Yeah.
Is there a player out there you'd like to see them go get, or someone you have in mind that can help them take that next level? Because, like you said, with Luka and LeBron, I easily can see them winning the West.
Well, I went through about 5 when I was thinking about this. Nick Claxton, because I feel like the Nets are obviously not in win now mode, so they can go trade for that. Steven Adams, the league is getting younger, and he is almost 32 years old. So they're going to want to see their future with Alperen Sengun, and Steven Adams may be on the trading block because of that. Who are my other ones? In a perfect world, we get Miles Turner. We've been flirting with that for years now.
Perfect is a
Colton, your thoughts?
perfect is up for interpretation. We'll say.
And then
Colton said they had to get Luka in that deal.
Yeah. If you give me Luka,
yeah,
more than
that's not happening. In a dream-like state, we get Bam. I feel like that is shooting for the stars. If you trade any of your young assets like Rui, Vando, Don Connect, or Austin Reeves, and that first, I feel like you could get it done, and you at least have to make the call. The Heat are not going to get better trading Jimmy, and they have Tyler Hero and Bam left now, and they're not going to get many pieces from Jimmy. So, might want to sell now.
I think the best part. I lost my train of thought there. Sorry.
I thought it was interesting for me as someone that doesn't watch NBA basketball typically a lot, that I was able to like recognize the players in this, and even I was like, oh, this is a big trade that just happened, and I just like I love, not I love, but it's like it's interesting to see all of these reports coming out and all these people that are going on talk shows that have been around the game for years. They're saying this is the biggest trade in the history of the NBA.
It
it's
is.
like anyone's ever seen.
I'm about to say, there's been outlets out there trying to compare it for other sports, and my favorite one was an NFL one. And they
I had a
said,
good one.
They said this was like trading Jamar Chase and other pieces for Mike Evans and other pieces. It now wraps full circle. Garrett, do you still want Mike Evans over Jamar Chase too?
You know what? I think at this point, Mike Evans should probably retire a Buccaneer. I'll take the youth and longevity of Jamar Chase.
So my comparison is it's like if the Bills made the Super Bowl this year, didn't win, but made the Super Bowl next year. Josh Allen has some injury issues, and they end up trading Josh Allen for Mike Evans. Like I feel like you're asking Anthony Davis to do something that's not in the realm of his like possibility. You're just expecting Mike Evans to fill that gap that Josh Allen would, and that's just not going to happen.
There are so many people saying the Mavericks won this trade, and I'm just like, you all just hate the Lakers that much.
Yeah,
Just say that.
Yeah, just say that.
I mean, even if the Mavericks win a championship this year, they won't. But if they were to win one, they still don't win this deal. This is a longevity thing. This man is 25 years old, not even in his prime, arguably. Yeah, and
Which is crazy.
And the overweight thing that everybody mentions. Who's arguably the greatest athlete of all time at taking care of his body?
LeBron.
And who now does he get to play with?
LeBron.
I mean, people were not putting that into perspective, and I haven't heard enough about that. But
No.
it's a legit thing that you have to think Luka's going to look across there and be like, I want to be that guy. Now he's got all the tools. Because LeBron will tell him, okay, this is who I went to, this is what I did, this and that. So, but that's not the only trade that went down.
Actually, I have one last thing
Okay.
I want to say on it. My last spiel. My apologies.
You're
But
good.
so they're talking about long-term future, okay? But they only got one first-round pick.
Yeah.
But hold on.
2029. at that.
Michael Bridges cost. He's a great player, outstanding player. He's an all-star on his own team. 5 first-rounders. That's how much he cost. Donovan Mitchell. 3, technically 4. They got Ochai Agbaji after he got drafted. I kind of count that as a pick. So you could say 4 first-rounders. Rudy Gobert, you want to talk about defense? You guys want to talk about defense? Rudy Gobert's got championships. If that's all that takes to win a championship, you know? Rudy Gobert, 4 first-round picks. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Jason Terry, well into their 30s, got 3 first and a pick swap. And at least in the Nets' defense, you can argue that if they don't make that trade, they still don't have a future, even though they didn't have a future with that trade. But this is unprecedented. And not even to mention that Luka is your offense. Like, he is your offense. He is not only scoring, but he's also creating for others. He averaged 9.8 assists per game last year.
Didn't he score 70 points last
He
year in a
scored
game too?
73 points in a game. Yeah.
I'm sure Anthony Davis can do that.
Yeah, but the thing
Yeah.
is, him being on the floor is what creates for the other players on the floor. He draws the attention. Him and Kyrie both drew attention. Luka Doncic gets doubled in the corner, kick it out to PJ Washington, bang, you know? Like, you're not going to have that with Anthony Davis. I love Anthony Davis, great player. He can't score from any point of the floor like Luka. Kyrie can do that a little bit too, but he doesn't warrant that same defensive attention that Luka Doncic does. Luka Doncic is a top 3 player in the NBA when healthy, and you can argue best player in the NBA. And I could just keep on going on about this, but I don't see how this helps you win now, and I don't see how this helps you win in the future. What I do see is that it helps them stay out of the second apron, and that is why I think this trade was made.
I mean,
You don't think a 32-year-old Anthony Davis with injury issues is going to help you in the future?
No, I think the thing is, when I mentioned Mikal Bridges, Donovan Mitchell, and even Rudy Gobert, I can see them playing well into the 2030s. Maybe not Gobert, but definitely Mitchell and Mikal Bridges. They'll play well into the 2030s. Mm-hmm. Will Anthony Davis make it past like 2031, 32 with that health? What if he just gets an injury like so bad in the next year or two and it's just over? I hope that's not the case.
Could
He's a
happen.
great player, but I think that risk is there.